Good day, aspiring critics. Welcome to Schools of Thought. We are now in Unit 3, Literary Theories and Modern Criticism, Schools of Thought. Before we dive into our topic, let me ask you a simple but important question. How do we truly understand a story? Is it by studying the author, the society they lived in, the values inside the text, or is it shaped by how we, as readers, personally interpret it? Today, we will explore one of the oldest and most influential approaches to understanding literature. That is traditional literary criticism. What is traditional literary criticism? When we say traditional literary criticism, it is often called traditional criticism, and it is an approach to analyzing literature that has been practiced for centuries. It does not focus on the text alone. Instead, it examines everything surrounding the text: the author's life, the historical period, social context, moral values, and even the psychology of characters. In simple terms, this approach believes that a story becomes clearer and richer when we understand the forces that shaped it. To understand this better, let us explore the six major approaches under traditional literary criticism. First is historical biographical approach. This approach focuses on the author's life and the historical background of the literary work. Many critics believe that knowing an author's experiences and the time they lived in helps us to understand the deeper motivations, struggles, and themes behind their writing. It often leads us to ask, how did the author's life or the time period influence the story? Next, we have moral philosophical approach. This approach focuses on the values, ethics, and moral lessons found in a text. It assumes that literature does not exist merely to entertain, but also to teach important principles about life and how we should live. Third is sociological approach. The sociological approach examines the relationship between literature and society. It analyzes themes such as class, power, politics, inequality, culture, and social norms. This approach also considers how an author's social position influences their work and how the text in turn reflects or critiques the society it came from. Next is psychoanalytic approach. This approach is rooted in psychology, particularly the theories of Sigmund Freud. It explores the inner desires, fears, and unconscious motivations of characters. and sometimes even the author. Through this approach, we uncover hidden meanings behind a character's actions, conflicts, and their emotional struggles. Next, we have practical criticism, or also known as close reading. This approach focuses only on the text itself. No author, no history, no society, just the words. Readers closely analyze language, tone, imagery, symbolism, and style to understand the meaning. This approach is also emphasizes that the text alone is enough to create meaning. The last one is reader response approach. This approach highlights you, the reader. It believes that meaning is created through your personal experiences, emotions, and interpretations. This reminds us that every reader may understand the same story differently, and whatever our interpretations are can be valid. To better understand how traditional literary criticism works in real literary analysis, let us look at a famous author whose life strongly influenced his writing. We have Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe, born on 1809, died on 1849, was an American writer, poet, and literary critic, known for Gothic fiction, horror, and mystery. He lived a tragic life where his parents and wife died early. He also suffers poverty, heartbreak, illness, and emotional instability or depression. And these experiences deeply shaped the dark and haunting themes in his works. Some of his major works include The Telltale Heart. I believe you are familiar with this story, right? A story about guilt, obsession, and madness. Many critics believe it reflects Poe's struggles with anxiety and psychological torment. Second, we have The Raven, a poem centered on grief and loss. Poe wrote this during the illness of his wife, Virginia. His fear of losing her echoes in the poem's sorrowful tone. Third, we have Annabel Lee, a melancholic poem about mourning a lost love. Many scholars also believe that Annabel Lee represents Poe's wife, revealing his deep grief. Next is The Fall of the House of Usher. This is a Gothic story about decay of the mind, the family, and even society. This reflects Poe's experiences with illness, isolation, and fear of death. The last one is The Black Cat, a story depicting violence influenced by alcoholism. Poe himself struggled with alcoholism, that is according from the wire, which is shaped the psychological breakdown of the narrator. So when we read post works, we may feel fear, sadness, curiosity, or sympathy. And all of these reactions depend on our own interpretation. This shows how traditional literary criticism helps us understand literature from many angles. To conclude, remember that traditional literary criticism is never created in a vacuum. Behind every story is an author shaped by experiences, a society filled with issues, characters driven by psychology, and readers who bring their own understanding. And the true power of literature lies not only in how it is written, but in how it continues to speak to us across time, across generations, and across our own human experiences. This is Almira Malaluyon, your presenter for the traditional literary criticism under Unit 3. Keep reading, keep questioning, and happy learning.